Happy Thanksgiving! I know this is not the video you're waiting to see, and I promise I'm still working on Amy's End of the Line Part 3, but until then, I just couldn't leave you without a video. LSRP has given me a lot, and while we weren't always in agreement, I still believe that LSRP is one of the best hardcore roleplay servers out there. It's the kind of a server that allows an everyday person to do anything possible, and to have wonderful experiences. And to me that's what games are all about, experience. That's why this Thanksgiving I want to give back to LSRP for all these years of having me. I want to help it improve and become better. While LSRP is one of the best, it's not perfect by any means. Nothing can be perfect. For this reason, I feel like it's absolutely necessary to point out some flaws in LSRP, or things that I generally find problematic. So today, I'm starting a new playlist, which I'm going to call Room for Improvement, where I will be analyzing some of the aforementioned tropes in my favorite games and game modes. I'm going to do my best to focus on things that not only affect me, but the vast majority of people. I understand that if a problem is exclusive to myself, then there won't be any interest in solving it and no one will probably solve it. So there's no point in bringing it up in the first place. Hopefully by bringing up some of the issues that do concern majority of the people, we can start discussions which we may develop upon. I want to warn you that these videos will be somewhat controversial, and due to their nature, might not show LSRP in their best light, because of the fact that I will be critical of the server. This doesn't mean that I don't like the server. The notion of, if you complain about a game, you shouldn't play it, is ridiculous in my opinion. The reason people complain about something is because they care about it. It's possible to like something, but not be content with everything about it and wishing for it to improve. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start with our first item of discussion. Out-of-character masks. What are these? LSRP allows some players to own and use out-of-character masks to conceal their identity. This identity can be revealed by staff members and detectives. Out-of-character masks can be obtained by paying $5,000 of in-game currency at any 24/7 through silver or gold donator, or if you're part of certain factions, for example the law enforcement ones. While using an out-of-character mask, the player's name tag and health bar are hidden. Their name in the chat box is replaced with their unique mask ID. The idea is to avoid metagaming by letting players conceal their identity so that others won't be influenced in making different decisions based on their character name that they wouldn't know in character. Now, while I see the reasoning and agree with the notion that /mask or something equivalent should exist, there's no regulation that states that it can only be used while the character is unrecognizable, thus it can be used at any time. Another issue that comes with mask is that if someone wishes to rob you, it's their responsibility to check your level. However, that is physically impossible without admin assistance while you're concealing your out-of-character identity. And in my opinion, role-playing games should rely on admin assistance and going out of character as little as possible. In the past, it has caused a lot of issues which developers had to work around. For example, in LSRP, you can buy a fridge upgrade to your house, which basically allows you to heal yourself at any time when you're in a house. Majority of players have these. However, due to the fact that when you're wearing an out-of-character mask, your health bar is hidden, it used to be impossible to tell if you were using it or not. This was problematic especially during combat situations, because you couldn't tell whether the person wearing out-of-character mask was using heal to regain his health during combat, which is against the rules. And as we all know, if we don't have sufficient evidence, then we cannot report a rule breaker. Thankfully right now, if the person is wearing out-of-character mask is on foot, it's possible to semi-identify them by holding right click, mousing over them and spamming Y. What this will do is it will pull up their attributes description, which will show their mask ID. You can later use that to form report them, and admin will be able to decrypt Rulebreakers' identity. Usually finding someone's mask ID isn't a problem, because it only takes the masked individual a single /me or a comment for their mask ID to show up in the chat box. And if they use /v, then it simply reveals their name as well. So as long as you keep your screenshot folder clean enough, you should have no trouble collecting evidence on someone with an out-of-character mask. Trouble comes when they don't use /me and when they don't roleplay. And this is what this video is about, the ones who abuse out-of-character mask. Not to avoid metagaming, but to avoid out-of-character persecution. Watch this video, I'm sure you've experienced this or something similar. This individual decides to swerve straight into Michelle and try to hit her off her motorcycle. Luckily for her, he misses. Now here's the issue. Under DM rules, I'm allowed to ask people why did they attempt to kill me. Driving into me head-on is a murder attempt, so I would have been able to ask him. The problem is, because he wore an out-of-character mask, there was no way for me to contact him out-of-character-wise. Of course this meant I would have to rely on administrators to decrypt his mask ID, which is again a problem because I don't even have his mask ID. He didn't make a single me, a single do, a single comment, any indication of roleplay. Some of you who know me know that I hate going out of character, and when I'm being watched by so many of you, God bless you, I am under a lot of critique and ridicule by everybody. I take all the comments you give me to heart, to try to improve myself. But one thing that I have trouble with is letting people get away with subpar roleplay. One of the reasons why I love having my character armed is because it allows me to deal with any one of these situations. Michelle was about to let some maniac who just tried to run her over get off scot-free. I started chasing the individual. He seriously floored the pedal as much as he could. I honestly haven't seen anyone run from me like that. All I wanted was his mask ID so that I could solve the mystery of why did he attempt to murder me. But it was impossible for me to obtain the mask ID when the masked person didn't do a single line of roleplay. Now some of you would argue, just ignore them and move on with your day. Yet had he struck me successfully and had I ignored him then, I would have been the one reported and possibly banned for failure to roleplay. I hate double standards. I believe everyone should be subjected to the same rules, and if I'm expected to show roleplay to the greatest extent of my ability, I believe others should be too. This is why I never go out of character. You can call me stubborn, but when every one of my moves is judged so intensely, it's not even an option for me. I just have to do it. That's why I joined the server in the first place. He slowed down, trying to brake check me, no doubt. I tried interacting with him, but he knew the advantage of the out-of-character mask. He wasn't going to reveal his identity. Although he was foolish enough to use his own car, so I was able to acquire his plate number. Now you might think that that's enough, but remember, if you don't have sufficient evidence, then all your efforts are wasted. All he had to argue was, oh, but the car was stolen, and the case would be closed. The plate number wasn't enough, I had to obtain his mask ID. This continued on for a long time until he finally chose to stop his car. Now, me and Michelle have observed many different behaviors of hostility, and what's coming up is controversial in some of your eyes, but it is what happened. He proceeded to make his way towards Michelle, not speaking to her, not making any me's, ammies, do's. At this point, I like to imagine what was going to happen. Here's a possibility. He scrolls the Desert Eagle, fires one shot at Michelle's head, immediately crouches, and fires off another one immediately to put her into a brutally wounded state. This is acceptable and has pretty much never been punished by LSRP admins. Shooting, crouching and shooting, especially if it's only done once, has always been excused on LSRP. However, it definitely gives players distinct advantage, which I won't get into in this episode. The problem with that was, if the masked player got Michelle killed, then left the scene and disconnected, I would never be able to figure out who it was. I tried before, and admin informed me that if a player that has killed you has disconnected, admins will not be able to find out who it was. It's a script limitation. Remember that my goal was to find out what his mask ID was, and he was not willing to roleplay. So I quickly asked myself a question. Do I have a reason to kill him? Yes. He tried to run me over in a head-on collision. He tried to kill me. So being an individual who always stood up for fairness amongst everybody, I decided to do the fair thing and kill him. And there it was, his ID right there in plain sight. Curiously, he already had some untreated gunshot wounds on him, shows how much he cared about roleplay. And now the controversial bit. The problem with this situation is despite the fact I never broke any rules, I acted in a way in which Michelle wouldn't normally act, or at least not the character that I'm trying to build for Michelle. Michelle is not a murderer. She doesn't want to kill. She doesn't find pleasure in that. However, I had to do so to find out who was the individual who was potentially trying to DM me. He was able to use his out-of-character mask to completely conceal his identity. I believe mask IDs should be displayed on masked individuals at all times to make it possible to report people who are wearing out-of-character masks. As it stands now, out-of-character masks have become a way for people to get away with breaking server rules, and it does nothing but break the community further. Do you agree with me? Leave the comment below, and don't forget to rate this video as I always appreciate feedback. As you've noticed, I stopped uploading daily videos. I decided to spend more time on making better content instead of pumping out similar videos on a daily basis. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, stay awesome, and happy Thanksgiving.